everybody, and welcome back to another episode of First and Last. I am Josh, and with me this week I have Jimmy.
Yo.
And as promised, Joe is not here.
As promised, we kick Joe the fuck out.
No, well, I mean, he's just gone this week again.
Oh.
But making his triumphant return, having watched all of Step by Step, is Jeff.
It literally took me this long to finish Step by Step.
It's pretty much like one full season.
To come back. Yeah, you said I couldn't come back until...
We hadn't heard from Jeff for this whole time.
It got very dark. It was very Howard Hughes-esque. Just room full of piss jars. It was... But I powered through. I powered through.
I can look at the...
I wish this were all true. I mean, not that part, but the part that you'd watched all of Step by Step.
Well, I was very much a Leo DiCaprio Howard Hughes and not necessarily like the actual Howard Hughes. So, crazy but devilishly handsome. It's a podcast. I can't see what I look like. So
what? True. What characters?
He's 4'5".
The book, Gatsby? No.
What are you?
Because he'd be Gatsby. If you were talking about
Howard
Gatsby.
Hughes is the Aviator.
The Aviator. Okay. Yeah, that's why I didn't understand that reference.
Wait, Howard Hughes.
Terrible
That's
film.
from the book about that guy named Gatsby, right?
Yeah. That.
Well, look.
That's a...
I had to process it and realize that I was stupid.
Well, don't worry, Jimmy. Today we're doing a show based on Howard Hughes. It's called Boy Meets World.
I know that you're lying.
Yeah, Cory Matthews. He grows up to be...
We all know it's about Topanga.
Howard Hughes.
It is always about Topanga.
We all know it's about Feeney, really. He's the real main character.
I think I told somebody the other day, I was like, oh, what are you doing for the podcast tonight when you're recording? I'm like, I think we're doing Boy Meets World, which just means all episode I'm just going to be going, Topanga!
That is a fantastic... Where do you think that name came from?
Like a box of oranges or something.
I want to know who's sitting in the writer's room and be like, all
Citrus
right, is
Company?
it Christy? Nah. Is it Danielle? Nah. How about Topanga? And they're all like, fuck yeah, let's go. That is brilliant.
That's the one.
I want to know, like, I'm going to...
Tapioca? No.
Yeah, not quite.
Topanga, yes.
Yeah, he just stares at his pudding. Be like, I got it.
Butterbean. Well,
Is that a
that's
Harry Potter?
It's like a
What
big
is
fat boxer guy, I think. He punched out Johnny Knoxville once in an episode of Jackass. Or a movie of Jackass. That's neither here nor there. We're talking about Topanga.
Yeah, Jackass
Yeah,
is
the Topanga
next,
show.
First and last.
But what do we know
Then I
about
get-
what do we know about Boy Meets World?
Oh, man.
Too much? Not enough?
I feel like I feel like I know way more about this show than I've actually seen it. Because I know character names. I know Feeney is the principal. And now I know that his name is Cory Matthews. I wouldn't have been able to tell you that before you said it. And I knew Topanga. And then the like rowdy neighbor who's getting him into trouble all the time. Is his name like Sean?
Sean Hunter.
Shunter. That's
you
literally
looked it
all
up.
I know.
I got the Wikipedia
like-
in front of me.
I
You
was like,
son
man,
of a
Josh
bee
literally
sting.
dropped. Oh, Sean Hunter? Yes. He's quite the friend.
Oh, Jonathan Hunter.
Do you guys know whether or not this is Ben or Fred Savage?
Oh, for sure, Ben.
yeah,
Fred
it's
Savage's
Ben.
golden years. Not an
That's
asshole.
The Golden Years?
The Wonder
you-
Years.
did you mix
mix
up
the
Golden Girls.
The
Wonder
Wonder
Gals.
Oh, you know the Golden Girls? You know the Wonder Year?
The Wonder Gals.
The
The Wonder
mashup we
Gals.
didn't know we needed.
Golden Years and the Wonder Girls.
Also, Fred Savage had that shitty show on USA for a little bit called Working.
Oh, he did.
Also, Fred Savage has directed a lot of episodes of Arrested Development.
And Sunny.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Sunny.
Oh, my God.
And lots of other
shaking
things,
my
I'm
head.
sure.
I'm shaking my head for the
Yeah.
podcast listeners. I'm shaking my head.
Yeah, I'll jump in, though. I think I'm with Jimmy on this one. When asked to do this show tonight, I was like, all right, I've seen Boy Meets World. And then I thought about it. I'm like, no, I think pop culture has made me feel like I've seen Boy Meets World.
Right.
Because I think I've watched an episode here and there. But again, it's enough of pop culture where I know Cory, Topanga.
I feel like I remember
Eric.
them being in like high school, but I'm pretty sure the show starts off when they're like kids.
Yeah, I was
Like
thinking
young.
about that where I think
yeah.
they start, in middle school. I think they go up through college, like pull a Saved by the Bell to college years. But Feeney's their teacher the whole way through. So it's like some, what are those monastery schools? Montessori?
Monastery. They become
The
monks.
monastery? Yeah. Strange twist.
Feeney's a priest. I like it.
The twist
Puts
is...
a real dark twist on it.
Well, I
mean,
see what he did there? He
Like
went,
right now,
see what
because of the scandals.
I won't say it. I see what he did.
Yeah, I won't.
We can't talk about it.
Yeah.
What?
It's dirty.
All right, fine.
Yeah, easy, Jim.
Come on, man.
Come on, Jimmy. Man, just don't
I mean,
go there.
Is Feeney sexually abusing people? Because either way, that's dark. That's not dark
All right,
because they're at a monastery. It's messed up.
Well, I mean, lives
I
by
have
himself.
I
always
have
talks to the
real
kids' neighbors.
predictions now. I don't know. Is this a drama?
Who's new in town in the first episode? Let's be honest. Somebody. I bet it's Topanga.
New in town.
I don't think anyone's new. I just think it's the first day of school and puberty's flying.
I feel like the pilot's gonna be a very.
No,
you should
I got
know
it.
First day of 8th grade.
I got
think
it.
it's- Yeah. I think
Nobody's
it's-
new in town. They're going to they're in school. It's not the first day of school. It's just a day of school. But Sean, the neighbor kid, his dad gets killed or arrested.
Whoa, maimed somehow, perhaps.
I like the just severity of. He's either killed or I don't know, arrested or something like that.
Or whatever.
But he goes to prison for life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's my prediction.
it's definitely there's probably some dad issues there, right? Some father figure absence.
I remember the one thing I do remember is that Sean there's some teacher that's like a father figure for him at some point in this show.
That's not Feeney.
Right. Yeah. It's some cool young hip guy with long curly 80s late 80s early 90s hair.
Like the cool teacher.
Yeah, well I'm not regular teacher. I'm a cool teacher.
Cool teacher.
You guys do Mean Girls right now?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. I'm just making sure.
I will keep you here all night. Can't keep them here all night. I will keep you here till 4.
Can't keep it past 4.
Mean Girls,
Screwed it
everybody.
Oh.
Do you think Tim Meadows is in this show at all?
No.
Oh, because of Mean Girls. I was like, whoa.
Because he's the one who says that quote. He's the principal.
He replaces Mr. Feeney in the later episodes because the actor's getting kind of
That would
old in
be
the years.
Awesome. Or he could be the principal in Girl Meets World.
Yeah.
Mean Girl Meets World. Am I right? Guys?
Sounds like a Dr.
Can I get a
Seuss
high
book.
five? Mean Girl gets...
Mean
Shoot,
Girl
how do you-
meets World.
We're getting off the rails, guys.
Yeah.
I think... Here's my thing is I can't picture Cory's parents at all, but I feel like they're just your everyday average sitcom parents, but the dad is... I think the dad is kind of long hair and is kind of hip, and he's maybe like a small airplane pilot. What do you call those?
Pilot?
Is there a no like the planes? Is there like
I don't
a
think
not like a
you can fly a
commercial
plane.
pilot?
What do you
but
call
like
a guy that flies a plane?
But it's smaller than a
The
normal
small-
plane?
The smaller
yeah,
airplane?
like not a commercial pilot, but like a small.
I think you still call him a pilot.
He's
I
just
think
a
if you can
pilot.
fly
Okay.
a plane, you're a pilot.
Okay, but I'm trying to be more specific than that. I think
Crop
he's a
duster.
pilot from the show Wings.
You trying to call him an aviator?
Yeah. Get off the Howard
Oh.
Hughes, Jim.
Damn it!
Yeah.
I've never seen that whole film.
There you go. Well, that's not what we're watching tonight. Do we know? Is this a laugh track? It's got to be,
Oh,
right?
it
A
has to be.
90s
Well,
sitcom.
it,
daytime.
It started
Was this
in
right before Step by Step?
Filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Let's see. The show aired on ABC Network in September 1993 and went to May 2000. 93 definitely seems like laugh track era.
Oh yeah.
93 to 2. So it was on for 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They aged like.
7 years.
Yeah, okay. That actually, the math works out for that one.
So
They aged. It was on for 7 years. They aged like
okay, with that
Nine?
math,
They went from like 7th grade to graduating college.
yeah. So that's what I'm. So okay, so I'm changing
That's
my. I think
10.
they're starting. I think it's the first day of school still, but I think they're starting 9th grade. They're like starting high school,
Oh.
and they're like the tiny kids on campus.
I think that's too old.
I'm just thinking like if they go through 4 years of high school, and then they go through a few years of college.
I'm going 8th grade, just to undermine you.
Just from what I feel like I've seen pictures of when the show started.
God, they look so small.
Yeah.
They look like they're in like 6th grade.
Yeah, it's not great.
I'm going to hate this.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a middle school through college, the college years.
All right, fine.
All right, so we got to figure out whether or not it's a laugh track show. We got to figure out whether or not Sean's
sure
dad is dead. We need to know if Tim Meadows is the principal.
I feel like that's the only one I'm confident. Probably not.
Because we know
And
for a
we
fact
We know
that
for a fact
Feeney
from the cast list that he's not on it.
did not look at the cast list.
The Wikipedia's up.
And Eric has
You got the
a.
cast up there?
I can. What do you want me to look up?
No, I don't want you to
Oh,
look
okay,
up anything.
well then I won't.
We need Cory's dad's a pilot.
We know that Cory's dad is a pilot of some sort of small aircraft that is called something that we'll never know.
No, that's what Jimmy thinks.
Oh.
There's no way he's a pilot.
I'm assuming.
Okay,
I'm
well-
assuming Cory's parents are the exact same as the Step-by-Step parents. His dad is a construction worker and his mom is a hairstylist.
Cory's dad is or
Or-
is
or.
Cory's dad the cool teacher that becomes Sean's father figure?
No,
Yeah, I was like,
it's a different person.
yeah, that's definitely different.
Or
No, because the reason I think that they like that teacher so much is that he's like the cool bachelor and he's all hip, and the other female teachers all got crushes on him.
Why
Cory's
wouldn't you?
dad.
Yeah,
Cory's dad's single.
No.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
he's
No,
a,
he's definitely not.
what pilot is
Does Cory
single?
have siblings?
Yeah, he's got a brother.
He's
Yeah,
got
Eric.
an older
older
brother,
brother.
Eric.
Comedic
Okay,
relief.
it's coming back. It's coming back. No sisters.
I have a feeling there was towards the end they threw in a younger sister to kind of change some things up
Okay.
in the show.
Like she's not a baby. She just appears and is like an elementary school.
I feel like it's one of those where she's pregnant for like a season, baby for a season, and then boom, she's 6 years old. in the next season,
okay.
when everyone else aged only a year.
The 1 year,
Sure.
but it's weird because it was the same actress.
Yeah, that's what's
that did it,
crazy. It's
and
not the
she
character.
she had giganticism or whatever.
Yeah.
She suffered from that Jack
Yeah,
disease.
the Jack, the-
yeah,
Negative Benjamin Button.
yeah. She was Benjamin Button in
the
reverse.
Robin Williams disease.
Jack.
That Jack.
Yeah.
Got it.
Jack disease.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we just stop screwing around and go to the first day of school?
We hope.
Of 9th grade.
I still don't think it's first day of
I
school.
don't know. It's
I'm
gonna be a normal
rooting
day.
against you, but we're gonna go to the pilot,
Yeah, it is.
Boy Meets World, and we will see you after that. And we're done with the pilot of Boy Meets World, and boy, do we have some thoughts and feelings.
I have so many thoughts and feelings.
I feel like Jeff is
I have
rolling.
more feelings than thoughts.
You're like rolling through like just you got a Boy Meets World roller coaster of emotion.
just so many thoughts going through my brain.
I want to point out before we get this started that I don't think that was a very good pilot.
Interesting.
Besides from what my notes say, I was pleasantly surprised by it. There were some actual jokes that I kind of laughed at.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think it was funny. I think it was like
You just said I
think-
hated it.
No,
You think it was a
you
fine
looked in our
episode,
eyes.
but
I think it was a good episode of TV. I don't think it was a very good pilot of a show.
I actually kind of liked. So one, it did exactly start just at a random day. It wasn't like
Yeah, it
an
was just
intro. It wasn't like a couple running into another. It wasn't an introduction of characters. It was like we just need to know them.
This
And I
could've
kind of
been-
like that though of a pilot. Is
It's
like
not
let's just
bad.
jump into it.
It could have been season 1, episode 7. This episode.
Yeah,
It really could have been.
that's like I feel like most sitcoms.
If, maybe. I didn't. You know what? Sitcoms might not be that good.
I mean, in other sitcoms we've watched, there's definitely been more of a like
There's generally
here's the premise, and like two people meet or whatever. This is like there's been more of an origin story where this is just happening.
Right.
We're just entering into it for the first time, but it's been going on. Cory Matthews has always been a little shit.
Cory Matthews has always been.
We're
Cory
just
Matthews.
walking in on it now.
What were you expecting? Like a new student in school?
I just-
Be like, hi,
yeah.
my name's World. Be like, hi, I'm Boy. Bum, bum, bum. Credits roll. Boy Meets World.
No, I wasn't expecting that. That'd be dumb.
That'd be actually hilarious. This is my cat.
It'd be funny.
World.
Wow.
I do like it when TV does different. I don't necessarily want a cookie cutter pilot episode because like Buffy is a good example. We watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't she didn't like become the Slayer in the first episode. She was already killing vampires, so she
Yeah.
like knew everything. She knew what was up.
That was
And-
cool.
And they used the other characters to essentially like they found out about her and they learned from her, and that's how we kind of got introduced. So we learned like
Through
the other
their eyes.
people, and the main character taught us. Where a lot of things are like, the main character doesn't know and they whatever, and then they learn and we learn with them. But this one was like what I got out of this episode was that this shows about Cory Matthews. And he is a little kid that is far too self-aware about himself and with where he like sits in the world. Like he just said, like it very sitcom. He just said things. He was like, "Are you like blah blah blah?" And he was like, "Quirky comeback." And I was like, I'm not that self-aware now, and I'm 30.
I've met little kids like that.
Not this bad.
Oh, I've met little kids.
Kids today.
Keep bragging about hanging out with kids, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy's like,
I
let me tell you about kids today.
I one time just listened. You ever just listen to little kids talk to each
I
other?
really try so hard not to hang out anywhere near little kids.
It is fascinating. But I heard these little two middle schoolers talking, and I was so fascinated. And I was trying really hard not to laugh because I thought they were hilariously funny, but they were just having a conversation. And one of them, I don't know how they got onto it, but one of them said, like, moms love Diet Coke. And in my brain, I was like, yeah. And the other kid was like, yes. And the kid, and then the other kid was like,
perfect.
my mom will pull us into the McDonald's drive-thru just to get herself a Diet Coke, and we have to sit there and wait. These kids were like Cory Matthews' age. These kids are like 11, and I was just listening to this. My mind was just being blown. They're very aware.
And I'm not walking it back, but what I'm saying is he was very self-aware, but I just like and I'm fine with that because it works very well for the show. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if he wasn't like that, he wouldn't be very fun. He's great. It was just, he went to school and I wrote, Cory feels abandoned. Cory abandons dad. Cory feels bad for Feeney. Cory makes amends with everybody.
All right, touche.
That's the
Touche.
IMDb synopsis of that.
Yeah, and now I don't have to read it, right?
Yeah,
I got it pulled. I finally have it pulled up here.
And I
I'm
never
It's
finally
four
just
points,
waiting.
4 bullet points.
Well, do you want to read it quick?
Yeah, sure. Cory is caught listening to the Phillies game in class while Feeney is trying to teach the class about love. Eric decides to take his girlfriend on their first date
I thought
to
he was
the.
just teaching him about William Shakespeare.
No, it was
They were
love.
talking
Okay.
It
about.
was all love.
They were learning about Romeo
It was
and
a
Juliet.
It was a health class.
Read a book. God.
I've read a book.
Okay, all right. Eric decides. The Phillies are a baseball team. For
Yes.
you listeners who don't know that, he's listening to a baseball game. Eric decides, who is it doesn't say it, but it's Cory's older brother, decides to take his girlfriend on their. That's
Not his girlfriend.
It says on their first date. It's very
It is on their
clearly
first
not.
date.
Yeah, but it's not a girlfriend if they're on their first date. Eric decides to take
You guys, Jimmy doesn't know
a
anything.
girl.
Maybe you should listen to Feeney.
Maybe you should listen. Go read Romeo and Juliet.
Eric goes on a date to the Phillies game he is supposed to take Cory to instead of Cory. So Cory decides to live in his treehouse. That's from Psycho 697186. Terrible job.
Yeah, that was a horrible synopsis.
Terrible
That's
job,
the first
Psycho.
5 minutes. Where's the rest of the show?
The one that's on Wikipedia is when Eric takes a date to a Phillies game instead of him, Cory moves into his treehouse. So Psycho actually didn't do that bad.
Good Lord, that makes the pilot seem terrible, or better, terrible.
More things happened. I thought there was some fun.
I just think, I don't know. I mean, the only person I know that we talked about this whole episode was Cory, which is fine. He is the main character. But
He is the boy.
And he's meeting the world. This title is very descriptive of what this show is.
yeah.
He's just learning life lessons.
I feel like the title of the show should be like Jerk Boy Meets the World.
Little shit meets
He
the
was
world.
kind of a dick.
I wrote down
He literally
Matthews - little shit
Yeah.
to
He
describe.
literally, the whole episode complains about his big brother ditching him and that he's being mean because he's taking a girl. And yet his little sister's trying to be super sweet the whole time. He goes, "Get away from me, little girl. Go play with your dumb doll." That's a quote from the
Right.
show.
Well, and see, and that's a good
Straight
example.
from.
And that maybe is a good example of why this isn't necessarily a great pilot. Because if it was in the middle, you'd have like sweet Cory Matthews who's just trying to like do his best and figure his shit out. But instead, we get introduced to little whiny like, "I don't like you. Get away from me.
Like he's had a
I don't
bad
want.
day."
I don't want to learn." Like Cory Matthews, and then he like gets a mild redemption arc at the end. But like that's like a middle of the season episode. I'm just saying it just didn't feel like a pilot, but it was a good episode of TV.
Oh, yeah.
Thought it was a good episode, just not a good pilot.
Okay.
Mic drop.
I'll give you that. But I think in the sense of a pilot, I think it actually did a decent job because even though he was a jerk and had his quips, you got to know the character of what Cory is. There was no like kind of character building. You just, this is who he is. You have Eric set up as the cool, quote unquote, older brother that is super into girls right now. That's his life stage. You kind of get the family dynamic of a caring mother and father, possible annoying little sister, the teacher, and the friends.
The little sister is like the dopest character in this whole show right now.
Yeah, she's actually a
She
huge
didn't
sweetheart.
give two shits, really. She was like...
When she threw her doll on the ground, that was like
Yeah, she tossed her doll out of the chair to make room for Cory at their little tea table.
that was kind of cool because it was like Cory like worshipped Eric, and then she like gave up her doll that she was nursing the whole episode just to hang out with Cory.
That's right. Cory was like freaking out about he's got detention. He found out his brother is taking this girl to the game instead of him, and she's just kind of like, "Yeah, whatever, man, whatever, dude."
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is, so I wrote, I think it was pretty early on, I was like, oh, the life lessons, our priorities change as we get older. Because, like, he was mad at Eric for going to the game instead of hanging out with him, and then his mom came in and gave Cory a life lesson of, like, well, you used to hang out with your dad, and then you got older and got friends, so you ditched your dad. You know, it's not that we stopped loving, it's just our priorities changed. So, like, boom, there's this life lesson for the episode. And I just assume there's going to be a life lesson because it's a 90s sitcom on ABC. You know, just one of those.
Right.
But one, the life lesson for sure is love is awesome, which...
Incorrect.
Great.
No, I'm just kidding.
Which, if anyone knows Jimmy, if it's about the fall, Jimmy hates the fall.
Wow. Wow.
But with it being a lovely message of love, I kind of felt sad the whole time because Mr. Feeney, clearly in his 50s, he had like a speech during detention pretty much telling Cory that he just doesn't get it because he's 11. He doesn't get how important love is. And then it like references him getting like ditched on a date and how he looks over and sees his family, and it got like really sad for Mr. Feeney. Like, just like, damn, he's just trying to teach kids about love, and he's just trying to find love himself, you know?
Poor old
That was like the drama
dumb,
of the show.
Lonely Mr.
Yeah.
Dumb Feeney.
Until... Are we talking about that yet?
Odie.
Odie. No, I have no
at
clue
the
what you're talking about.
on the closing credits scene.
Oh, that he went on, that he got
Feeney
a date with his
says that
teacher?
it wasn't. Feeney was telling a woman he just asked on a date, another teacher presumably. Like she just agreed to go out with him, and she said great. He said, great.
Ms. Hot Pants.
Ms. Hot Pants said, great, I'll go on a date. And he said, I'm actually a very good cook. I just prepared this really great salad for my sister and I, but she couldn't make it. So he wasn't actually sad waiting for a date like Cory thought.
It was weird because then he looked at Cory right in the eyes and he says, my sister's a huge bitch. And then
I didn't even want her there.
Yeah.
No, but he did say
Feeney looks at
something.
Cory and goes, take that, you little shit.
He
walks away.
That's basically what he said. He was like, you got anything to say? And he's like, I'm confused. He's like, that's right. That's how it's gonna be for the next 7 seasons. Then he slapped him in his face, and I thought that was a little too much because he's a child.
Nah, it's the school in the 90s. It was allowed.
Let's talk.
He didn't do that.
Let's mention the elephant in the room, or as I
Yeah, it was a weird part of the episode where this elephant came into the room. I don't know where it
passed
came from.
through.
Yeah.
I mean the elephant that wasn't there.
You're talking about Topanga.
The elephant known as Topanga.
Oh, yes.
She wasn't in this episode.
Could be Topanga.
She wasn't even, like, in the credits. It's like they didn't even have a Topanga.
I don't know when Topanga enters this. When does Topanga come to this show now? Who knows? Maybe it's the last episode of the last season.
What's Topanga's real name? Is it Danielle Fisher? Did I know that right?
Topanga. I'm very impressed if that's what it is. You got it? You got it, Jash?
Oh, look.
Cast list.
Characters. Danielle Fisher. Fischel.
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 But
thanks for playing.
Hey, she's coming in later this season. She's just not in our plans for the pilot. But well, throw in the opening.
Oh, that is a thing. If this was the pilot episode, when they're shopping it, ABC could have said, "Yeah, cool pilot episode, but we want a hot girl episode, a young.
We need a hot girl.
We need,
Get the 11-year-old.
Okay, that came out wrong. That came out very wrong. We're gonna dial that. You're gonna dial that back, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna dial that back. You're gonna edit that out.
Yeah.
I meant just like.
I'm gonna just put on repeat a hot girl
Yeah.
episode.
God damn it!
One of those
I
radio
think
edits.
she's in episode 2, is what I'm saying.
I mean, I definitely was expecting, again, with this like love theme was coming about. I was expecting this whole episode for Cory to be like, "Oh, love, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just 11." And then like right at the end,
And then she's
post-credit
stressed
scene
out.
or mid-credit scene, Marvel style. Here comes Topanga walking in, and Corey's like, "Boo!" Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Is that the sound of his
Yeah,
tiny boner?
No, he's 11. I was thinking more like the cartoon eyes popping out of his head. Or what's that scene in like The Mask when
When he gets a
Cameron
tiny
Diaz
boner.
shows up? Yeah.
Somebody stop me!
But I thought for sure Topanga was coming up, at least at the end. But yeah, just a no-show for one of the most famous, I think, TV crushes besides what's her face from Saved by the Bell, Kelly Kapowski.
Oh, sure. Kelly and Zach.
Yeah. But
It's out of my league. I didn't really watch much Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell's great.
I mean, I didn't watch it much.
Zach's a dick. Have you guys seen that?
What?
Have you seen those? Okay, so like it's like a Funny or Die thing. Funny or Die like posts a thing every like couple weeks or maybe every week about like, remember this episode of Saved by the Bell, and it's like Zach doing something extremely shady and awful and being a horrible friend.
Oh, I think I've seen
And
that.
if you like think about it, you're like, oh my god, like most of these episodes he's like trying to pull some sham and like bring his whole troop into it and like
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It's like how Zach's a horrible human being.
Yeah.
On this week's show of Zach Morris is a horrible human being.
constantly treating a Screech like an a-hole, using his friends all the time.
Boy Meets World was 158 episodes, and
Nice.
Topanga was in 145 episodes. So that means halfway through season 1-ish.
Yeah.
She was
So
in
she-
season 1 at some point.
So I mean, she's
Mathematically,
definitely.
she has to be in
So
season
they
1.
definitely have like a new girl episode.
Yeah.
Probably. from ruining, I'm just gonna make all these noises right now. There we go. Got it. Nailed it. So she's in it, but just not in the first episode. They were like, we're missing something. Hot girl. Let's put her in.
I bet it could be in the first season, episode 21 of season 1 called Boy Meets Girl.
I thought that was the follow-up series. No, it's Girl Meets World.
That's Girl Meets
When this boy meets girl.
Yeah, that's
I
like
hope
one
they
of the only
changed the
things too.
theme
Is,
song for just that episode.
yeah, the intro, like the opening credits for this episode was more of just sounds. I would say it's almost like from the original, like
That looked like
Apple computer.
I think you could have played the Tool Time theme song, like with like Eric Matthews. He was getting hit by like skates and like and like a
it
house
was like
fell
one
on
of the most
him.
90s opening ever, like rollerblades and paper airplanes.
Yeah, it was like
Paper airplanes were invented in the 90s.
I just imagine. So I want to rewatch
This is the first time we saw them in the
just
credits of the show.
just the credits, and just play the Home Improvement. Nailed it.
Yeah, that's how it goes. That's it.
What else? Yeah, my only other thought was we had this like Milton kid. Is that his name?
I don't think.
And
they
then
said his
Sean.
I
name.
don't know if they
I'm not
said-
100%.
Did we just guess his name was
I
Milton?
think his
Yeah.
name
He
is
looked like
Milton.
a Milton.
That's a good guess, though. I like Milton. He definitely
Milton.
seemed like a Milton.
Yeah, he was for sure a Milton.
But
What a loser.
yeah, Topanga wasn't in it at all. Sean was in it for like a hot
Sean was
minute.
hardly anything.
Milton
was in it more.
than Sean.
Milton almost got murdered by a girl on a table in the classroom
Yeah,
For love.
he had it coming.
for love
For love.
that Corey knows nothing about.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna get us demonetized.
Oh, sorry.
Copyright struck by
No, that
Meatloaf.
was that was my own song.
Oh, you wrote it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Should we jump into predictions?
Ooh, who's got the
Yeah.
predicts?
Jeff, as our esteemed guest, would you like to go first?
Yeah, I came up with 3.
Okay.
One of them is just kind of a, I don't know. I didn't have great ones, but I'll start off and then you guys can finish off strong. But I have 3, and one is, so I have as one prediction, an unknown character from the first episode will fall in love with Cory, and it's a whole circle, which obviously we know is Topanga.
I hope it's.
But it
Milton.
brings back that, like, at the end of the series, if they're not already, maybe it's like their wedding. And so again, this first episode's whole thing is like Cory will never find love and he'll never understand it. And boom, last episode.
I can see
Find
the
out.
Okay.
I can see the bookend
That's
in
a
this
fun-
episode
That's a
being
fun.
Feeney giving him another like love speech, like that being the.
Oh, I
bookend.
Or
think
another
Feeney
detention.
gives him a lot of love speeches.
I'm
in
sure
this.
he does, but
Yeah. I have my second prediction as Mr. Feeney is still their teacher, as in they never graduate 6th grade. No, I'm kidding.
this
But-
is just South Park.
Yeah. And then my third prediction, this whole time Eric is worried about his date and how he blew this date, like he was just at the baseball game and didn't say anything. I think at the end Eric comes out as gay.
What is this? 2000?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
just changes the whole landscape
It's a different time.
of the LGBT in pop culture.
Single-handedly.
Frasier was already on top of that well before this.
Maybe double-handedly.
I don't get that.
Don't
that one at all.
don't make it weird.
That went way over my head.
Don't make it weird.
Everybody else in the went. No, Jimmy, you want to go?
Fine. All my correct predictions I'm about to drop on you. Okay, number 2. I think the little sister
Wait,
Morgan.
Did you do number 1?
Number 1. I think the
I was
little.
gonna say, did I miss one?
We never. I was realizing as I
Number
started
one,
to talk,
their friend Milton.
we never really went
His
through
name's Milton.
character names. We have mom and dad who we don't know their names. We have little sister Morgan, older brother Eric.
Your predictions can't be the names of characters. We
Yeah.
already know
I'm
those
just
names.
saying we didn't. Okay, so little. I
Unless you
think
predict mom's
number
name's
1.
mom.
I think little sister Morgan has disappeared, and I don't think she got abducted. I think.
Well,
I
it's
think
not
she
called a
did
Morgan
not-
alert. It's called an Amber alert.
Yeah.
I don't think she tested well to the audience, and I think they kind of just
They're like,
she just isn't there
they're
one
like, "Boo,
season.
we want someone hotter," and then she leaves. Topanga comes in.
Oh
and
God.
no one notices.
I think she's nowhere. Okay, number 2. I think this is graduation day from high school because he's 11 and this is 7 seasons later, so they're 18 now.
That's how math works.
Seems to reason. They're not graduating college, they're graduating high school. Number 3, I think Feeney is married now. He's like been seeking love, but he's got a lady in the house next door. He's got the old ball and chain.
Wait, he keeps her in the Matthews house?
No, in his.
Feeney steals.
I mean,
Cory's
because
mom.
Feeney's the neighbor.
Feeney's gonna marry Cory's
Yikes.
mom? Or he's
Yikes.
marrying Eric?
That can be your
Whoa!
predictions.
The
God.
mix of your prediction and Jeff's prediction?
That's the
Eric's
new- that's the
gay
new
with Feeney?
That's the new twist, is intertwining all of the predictions.
For one super
One
prediction.
super prediction.
That's horribly wrong and also homophobic. Number 4, Cory and Topango. What's her name?
Pongo?
We don't know
like
because
from-
she wasn't in the episode. Pongo? Is that a person?
That's
Yeah.
it's a dog from a
101.
it's the dad dog.
101 the Dalmatians?
Yeah.
Oh, Pongo. Cory to God, whatever her name is, they're engaged in this episode.
Okay. So
A young 18 engaged.
So instead of throwing softballs at points
TLC
like
show.
Jimmy, I decided to
Little sister disappears?
I decided to find out to figure out what everyone's doing as a vocation. I think they're in college, but I think some of them aren't in college, but I think they're all working towards a job. And I think we're going to find all those out. And I decided these are what these 5 people's jobs are. I think Cory is trying to be an architect. I think Topanga is trying to be a journalist.
Oh, for sure.
I think Eric is a butcher. And I think Sean, he's a gay butcher with his husband,
Is
Mr. Fuzzy.
this because you're watching Daredevil and Foggy always talks about how his mom wanted him to be a butcher?
I didn't know that part. No, I really didn't.
spoiler
Remember that?
alert.
Season 1.
Yeah, but I'm watching season 3.
Yeah, no one's on. No one
It's
watches
not a spoiler alert. If you're on season 3, you've already seen
No,
season
he
1.
starts shows on season 3.
Yeah, I watched the pilot.
That's how Josh.
I watched the pilot. I'll watch all of season 3, and then I watch the finale.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
I think Sean is a teacher because he was inspired by the cool hip teacher that wasn't in this episode, but totally exists. And
Sean
then
already has his teaching.
and
license.
then I think Morgan's profession is she's dead or gone.
Oh, man, a lot of just.
I
You guys are hating on Morgan.
Morgan is my favorite character in the show right now,
I thought she was adorable. I thought she served a purpose.
which is why someone might want to kill, kidnap, or take her.
I guess.
Oh my god.
I mean, Cory is such a
saying.
dark presence in this show that Morgan needs to lighten it up with.
Corey probably got
He
fed
is
up with
kind
her.
of a brooding, kind of intellectual, like
I mean, I guess I get it because it's those moody teenage years.
yeah,
Is it already? He's only 11. He's not even there yet.
preteen.
Think of his like
Preteen
quick,
years.
his quick wit though. Little, you know.
It's true. He's ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
There was one point in the episode where I think it mentions one of the rundowns that in class, Cory was listening to a baseball game on what looked like a cassette player. So one, it was a recorded game, so that was weird. But Feeney caught him. He was giving sass back to Feeney, and he goes, "All right, that's detention." And Josh goes, "Kind of a low bar for detention." I'm like, he was listening to a baseball game in the middle of class.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a horrible student.
I've been to detention for less than that.
Yeah, I went to detention. I didn't get my homework done. Damn you, 6th grade.
I told a
You
kid
shouldn't-
behind me
you
to
shouldn't
shut
get-
up.
you 6th grade.
You
math
shouldn't
teacher.
get detention for that. You should just get an F for that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, good point.
they gave me an A still.
You're
so-
already getting your.
We're gonna give
They're
you.
like, yeah.
We're gonna give you detention.
You
but
look like
an
you
A.
know this, but we're gonna keep you 30 minutes after the last bell rings.
I told a kid behind me to shut up, because he's just trying to antagonize me. and
worked.
the teacher sent me to detention because she heard me tell him shut up, and she said, "Oh, I hate that word," and he said, "Yeah, I hate that word," and I said, "It's 2 words," and she sent me to detention.
That's very Cory Matthews, and
Yeah.
I loved it. That's actually really funny.
Well,
Yeah,
that was
I wasn't
Like,
laughing
listen
at the
here,
time.
English teacher.
when Jimmy meets
She wasn't an
world.
English teacher.
When Jimmy meets
She was a new
world.
teacher, I'm pretty sure. I think it was history, maybe.
This isn't important. We're gonna watch the finale.
Yeah.
Of Boy
It's
Meets
important
World.
to me.
Yeah, well, go yell it into the void. We're gonna watch.
Oh my.
We're gonna go see if gay Eric Matthews is married to Feeney while butching. We'll see you after the
Is
finale.
that what you mean by butching?
No, I just mean he's a butcher. We're done with the 2-part finale of Boy Meeting Worlds.
Boys and worlds meet.
Boy listening to Power Man 5000 when worlds collide.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
remember that track?
Nice.
7 seasons of Cory Matthews. This is what it's like. Let's collide. Oh, you ready to go?
But yeah, double ep.
It was
Double
a
feature?
it was a double episode. It was Brave New World Part 1 and 2, and it was 95% clip show.
Gotta tell you, I hated it. It was a fucking clip.
Yeah, it was.
Clips. The previously on of the second part that was aired the same day was a clip
Yeah,
show,
it didn't even
which it's a previously on, so you expect a little clip show, but it's a clip show of just the clips of
'Cause there
the
wasn't
first
enough
clip show.
There wasn't enough material in the first episode to even create the previously on.
Josh, I feel like you're not nearly furious enough for this about how clip show the clipped.
Maybe he's thinking in like, all right, this whole theory of this podcast is that we don't watch the whole series. Well, these 2-part episodes, you just got the whole series.
Yeah, no, yeah. That's true. But if you have you ever seen the show Felicity? Is my question for you, Jeff. Are you aware
Carrie
of that
Russell.
show? Yeah, Carrie Russell.
That's
a young
all
Carrie
I know
Russell.
of it. Her name's Felicity.
Yeah, that's her name.
Felicity Jones.
That's about as much as I know about that show still to
Yeah.
this day. But we watched it, and the finale was an entire clip show. I mean, they pretended to weave some plot in there that was really weird because it was a J.J. Abrams show. So of course, eventually, it was about time travel or something. I'm still not really sure.
I mean, it was a J.J. Abrams show, yes.
Josh
Wait, I can't.
was
tell if you're joking.
wild with how. No, I'm
Is it actually
serious.
about time travel? No, it's not.
There's time travel in the last episode. About the show about the girl who goes to college and
Yeah, which
Anyways,
makes total sense.
This is blowing my mind. But
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Anyway, listen to the podcast
Yeah.
that we did on it. Josh is furious.
I had some thoughts and
And
feelings.
many subsequent episodes when we brought that up since, he's also was furious.
It won a first and lasty in season 1 for being I don't quite remember what the first and lasty was. I'm pretty sure it was the shittiest show ever.
Being the yeah.
That's a bold statement. That's a bold award.
Well, so
People love that show.
I'll address that, Jimmy. Yes, there was a lot of clips, and I was not happy with the fact that there was a lot of clips. I was more tolerant of this because most of them were not from like the first episode,
True.
like Felicity's were. And then also they were like entertaining clips. I'm still not okay. I would have been more okay if the episode 1 would have been like a clip show, and then episode 2 would have been like the plot show. But they didn't do that. They just did a interweaving of clips and the minimal amount of plot you can do to move it along.
Can we read? Are we going to read a synopsis?
Oh, sure.
I want to hear the synopsis before
Yeah.
I give my own
Oh,
thoughts.
gosh.
Yeah,
I
what
bet
does anyone even have to say about this?
I mean, the synopsis for the first episode with a ton of plot was fantastic. So can't wait to hear this one.
Well, okay. So is this gonna be?
Go back to Psycho Clown 6969. What was it? That was my aim handle at middle school, so maybe it was me. I mean,
Oh,
I wrote it back
man.
in '93. I was like,
You're
you know
right.
what?
Psycho clown.
You were writing.
That would be a terrifying child's
You're writing
handle.
Boy Meets World wikis back in the day.
You just hear the opening of the door. Oh, sweet. Psycho Clown 6969's online.
Been waiting. Okay, so these episodes were called Brave New World, part 1 and 2. So the part 1 is Topanga gets a job in New York, and Cory fears having to leave Philadelphia, born and raised. And then the part 2
Phillies
is
fan.
what?
Yeah.
Should have known he's in Philadelphia.
Philly. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That was the only way I knew where they were.
That's right. I forgot about that.
You're near Philly.
So the part 2 is
in or around Philly.
or he's just weirdly a Phillies fan. He just really likes the Flyer. Okay. As all the friends say goodbye to each other, they all make one last stop to Feeney's classroom for their last goodbye to Mr. Feeney, where he gives them his very last piece of advice. So part 2 was like they were still doing clips and stuff but then they're going around doing all the like tropes of the show where Feeney, like Cory begs Feeney to give him advice at their like fence, like over the fence, like in Home Improvement. And they go to the classroom and Feeney gives them his last piece of solicited advice.
Do you know, though, the first part of advice Mr. Feeney gave, there's that fence between them, keeping that divide between student and teacher, and then the last word of advice
Oh.
in the classroom.
Said he won't tell them
And
he
there's no
loves
divide,
them.
and they both look at each other.
Did he ever say it?
I don't know. I don't think
Did
No,
he
I don't
say
think
it?
he did.
I think he said it to the empty classroom.
They begged him
Like-
to...
He said, "I love you all."
He took
as
his
I think it
pants
was like a
off as they
reference
all
to
left, but he
students.
didn't say "I love you."
He's taking his pants off, mumbling something
Yeah,
about love.
All the students said, "I love you," and he goes, "Thank you," and then
It's
falls
really
asleep.
awkward.
Thank you, youth learners.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna jump into all the thoughts that I have going through
Love it.
in my head. Because what you told me before we walked in here was, Jeff, you're our guest speaker, so you get the 90% of the airtime. So I was like, oh, sweet. They said
30 minutes of uninterrupted
uninterrupted eye
podcast.
contact.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the Jeff Show, everybody.
So I had during this, yes, it's 95%
Clips.
flashbacks, like you said, or
Clips.
clips. And this for me is you talked about how it was the worst type of pilot for you.
Mm-hmm.
This is the worst kind of finale for me.
Wouldn't you been? Would you have been happy before you keep going? Would you have been happy with a part 1 clip, part 2 story?
Yes, but part 1
Perfect
clip,
Strangers?
but part 1 clip would have been like the week before. So both these parts were aired on the same day. So
Right.
in reality, it was probably an hour-long show. So maybe
Right.
the first half, yeah, I would. But when I think of like clip shows of TV series that were so like Friends, they threw in a clip show throughout the series or whatever. But at least the season finale, they wrapped things up.
Spoiler.
I look at the sorry, it was an episode. That's next week's.
Wait, are you
No.
saying Friends finished?
Yeah, it's
Friends
over?
Friends
and
isn't
what's
still
weird
on.
is they aren't friends anymore. And then I look at like The Office. There's clip
could see
shows
that.
throughout the series, but at the season finale, again, they kind of wrap things up. This one, it took until probably the last 3 minutes, and actually the last 3 minutes I thought were a really good finale part. It was the goodbye to Feeney. We're all moving on. Cory breaks the fourth wall and goes, "Oh, I'm going out to meet the world. It's about a boy meeting a world."
Oh, boy
Oh,
meets
now I
world.
get it. Like he literally says, "That makes sense to me."
I
now."
actually did kind of like the breaking of the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Because he also said to Feeney, like, you've only talked to us kids of your students for the last 7 years because you never see Feeney interacting with anyone else.
Well, that's one thing I wrote down. I was like, I'm glad they kind of said or led it to the boy meeting the world as him, the finale moving to New York and actually maybe getting out there. Because I was like, is Boy Meeting World an appropriate title when he's literally met his best friend and his future wife when he was like 11 and only hung out with him, his parents, and his teacher next door?
He hasn't
So it
done
literally
shit.
was boy meets friends at 11 and meets no one else.
I mean, according to the clips, they broke up.
Boy establishes full life plan at 11, takes no risks after.
I mean, I think that's a brilliant title to a TV show. But
I'd watch that.
I'd watch the pilot and the finale.
I'd watch the pilot and finale and talk about it. Maybe make prediction here or there.
We've watched worse shows for sure.
But I don't know. I mean, again, I think the last 5 minutes for me saved it. I like the again, the kind of just the, all right, this seems like a finale. But again, what was weird is there was times where I don't remember, or it felt like when we were finally to the present, I thought it was another clip. Like, there's no like jingle to reference going back. There's no, I don't know. It was weird.
The only kind I had to like see the mom and see what haircut she had. And I'm like, okay, I think we're the present.
Yeah, if she was in the clip, then we knew.
Like, how old does Morgan look here?
Yeah, how old Morgan?
She's
Okay,
back
she's
to-
probably right.
Yeah.
It's probably right.
Which Morgan is this?
Which Morgan? And then
There were 2 Morgans, listeners. Right? You said season 1 and 2.
Actresses that play
The 2 actresses. Yeah.
yeah, they had 2 daughters and
I
they
was
named
like-
them both Morgan.
I was like, yeah, the prediction was right. The first Morgan died.
So then they just had
And
another
they just
kid.
adopted another Morgan.
She was like 6.
She died in the
Yikes.
5th season at 12 years old.
Yep.
And then they died, and then they just were like, let's have another one.
Yeah.
We'll name her Morgan too. In memorandum.
Nice.
Is that how? Is that what happens? That works.
That's exactly what happens.
Probably.
So did they all move to they all moved to New York, right?
The 2
Seemingly.
friends that were not in the pilot, who seemed like Eric's college roommates, they went to Peace Corps.
The girl
Oh.
and Jack.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they went
Matthew Lawrence.
Whoa.
Well, his brother. Yeah.
Well,
You got it.
somebody.
So they went. So they went. But
Brotherly
Eric,
love. That's what
Eric
he's
the
on.
brother, Sean the friend, Topanga, and Cory. They all moved to New York. All 4 of them moved to New
Yeah.
York.
Jeez.
So again, I doubt Corey's gonna branch out and meet new people.
Why
when
would
his-
he?
Literally, his core.
He's got his
group
entire
is
group of
right
friends.
there in New York.
And I bet when those other 2 were done with Peace Corps, they'd be like, where do you live? Cool, we're moving in.
Yeah, the other 2 are in the Peace Corps that will literally be going around the world,
Meeting the
and
world.
meeting the world.
When the tallest girl you've ever seen meets world.
She wasn't short.
So, one of those friends, Jack, is Sean's little brother.
Big brother.
Big brother?
Yeah,
You
because I
think?
think Jack and Eric were college roommates.
Oh, that makes sense. So they had to have been in the same class.
Yeah,
But were they like half brothers, full brothers?
that I don't know.
Their dad was John Goodman.
Chet Hunter is
Jimmy.
Chet is the actor.
Chet is his name. I think.
It's pronounced Chet.
Oh no. Chet is his. Blake Clark is the actor's name. Sorry, I was looking for.
Who's Chet then?
Blake
Chet
Clark.
is the character's name.
Oh,
That Sean
okay.
and Jack's dad.
Blake Clark. Isn't he the one from Waterboy that? Always.
Yeah,
That's how he
actually.
those were his lines.
Actually, I think that is the same guy. Is that the same guy?
Gatorade is
Maitland,
better.
the tall one. Her name is Maitland
Maitland.
in real life. I
She's
think.
kind of a cutie patootie.
Yeah, for sure. For show.
I'd
She was a
take her-
full head taller than everyone in this show, I feel like.
Yeah.
She was a tall girl. Mhm.
Couldn't
I'm
decide
still
her
not
own.
convinced that any of the people in the show are like over 5'10" though.
Yeah, that's
It
very
turns out
possible.
she's actually just 5'9".
Topanga for sure isn't.
Topanga is as tall as all of the guys in the show. Like, you know,
Actually, I would like to know.
how
Can
old
I
is
find that
how
out?
old's the Topangs?
I don't care how
old
old
or
she
how
is.
tall?
Both.
Hmm.
She's 4 years older than me. What does that mean? She's 30.
She's 40.
And this is where we
47?
spend the next
48.
15 minutes Jimmy calculating how old he is.
Math. All right. Well, I was born as in
Not
kids.
positive.
There were 7 moons before I was
What's her name?
Topanga.
Topanga.
Daniel
Danielle
Official?
Fishel, like official, but just not O.
Daniel Official.
Danielle Official. Anyways, you looked that up, but yeah, I don't know. Josh, I feel like you've been very silent on your thoughts.
I've just been letting you get it all out. bud.
Yeah, I know.
I was fine. Once again, it was I have the same opinion I think of it as I did like the pilot. It was not a good finale, but it was entertaining enough because I liked the clips at least.
Yeah.
And that was just because. But if I had watched this entire show, I would have been pretty furious about this. And I was less furious. Of the longtime listeners obviously know about me and Felicity. We do not get along. Me and Felicity. But that was because I was mad about it because I had just watched that episode and then I just saw 45 more minutes of clips of the episode we just watched.
Yeah.
So if I hadn't seen this whole show, I would have been like, I know all these things happened.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely flashed back a few times to when they were 11, which could have been season 1. But you're right. I don't think they touched the pilot at all.
No, it seemed like they spent 7 seasons creating moments that were heartfelt and they gave big speeches and they learned a lot of stuff about themselves. And then the last episode, they were like, "Fuck, one more time."
Be like, God,
I don't want to do it again.
Our paycheck stopped 3 weeks ago.
Let's just.
Feeney
already said it. Let's just let him say it again.
Yeah.
But from the past.
What if during season 4, they're like, shit, that was a good scene we just shot. Mm-hmm. We should use it again in the finale.
This is good. They just made notes. There's a post-it note on the wall for 7 years.
They literally just had and be like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. The one where he pushes his little sister into the street with the car.
Okay. That was what was really so this whole time, so both episodes, they almost went down the line. It was flashbacks of Topanga, the most important person in Cory's life. Mm-hmm. Then it was Sean. Then it was Eric. Then it was I think Eric's roommate maybe.
Jack.
But then it was his parents, and then Morgan was the last one. Got 2-second clips.
Yeah.
And then that was it again. And we're like, man, he was a jerk to her in the pilot, and the show's now a jerk to her in the finale. Just
that's the bookmark.
Yeah.
The show was when Boy says, "Screw you, Morgan."
But is she the girl in the Girl Meets World that came out?
No.
Can't be.
I'm pretty sure Girl Meets World is Cory and Topanga's kids. Girl. Their girl.
Their girl.
So I think. Because I'm pretty sure I know Daniel Fisher's in it.
Yeah, I think they both came back
I'm assuming they are.
Because I don't know what else they've been doing.
Getting those royalty checks?
Well,
150
Ben Savage
episodes?
was in Princess Bride, so I'm sure every time Princess Bride's on TV,
TBS pays him out.
That paper, yeah.
TNT, whatever those movie channels are.
Yeah. I like how Jimmy's still calculating how old he is on the calculator.
This doesn't make any sense.
84. That's
Topanga's 5'1", by the way.
And she was
she was tall.
She was as tall as everybody.
So unless she had
she
the
was
Spice
wearing,
Girl heels.
she was wearing. If you looked, she was wearing some gnarly
those platform
heels,
shoes,
pretty large and in charge.
Well,
boots.
what you're saying is every dude in that show was 5'5" to 5'7", and so that giant girl was 5'10".
Yeah.
She was just the height of a normal human being.
Yeah.
I think
Sorry,
they had
sorry, short listeners.
depending on.
Not that there's anything wrong with being 5'7".
No, it's fine. I'm not going to get it down for you. That's it.
Yeah.
Get it.
As Josh stands at 6'3". Did I get that right?
Yeah.
This girl.
They call me the mountain.
They must have had her in heels, because she's not, according to the internet, not any.
Oh, you mean
Rachel?
She's in sneakers. She's in sneakers the whole time.
Then the internet doesn't know and cannot be trusted.
Yeah.
Because according to this, Ben Savage is 5'8", and Eric is 5'9", and she's 5'10".
Yeah,
but
she was that's a relatively
well.
I mean, I'm
above.
5'10", so they're only an inch or two shorter. But that seems like a pretty short cast.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that is 5'10", so I know what you're saying.
Part of you.
Parts of you.
Yeah.
Parts of your body are at the height 5'10".
Yeah.
His left arm is 5'10".
Right arm 5'9.5".
Enough. Yes, his knuckles scrape the ground. He's very E.T.
Weird
type
back
body.
hump. 5'13".
Josh doesn't
Don't think
this
about it.
Part of the
Stop being
conversation.
so flattering. You guys. Should we dive into these predicts?
Oh, I forgot about those.
Yes.
I mean,
Did I win?
I can circumvent mine, essentially. I guess what everyone's jobs were, and we found out no one's jobs. So I got
No
0
one.
I'm
points.
pretty sure Sean doesn't have a job. They made a joke about
Well,
him not being able to leave Philly because he's got a great job and a girlfriend and a family, and his parents are dead.
Yeah, he goes, psych!
And they laugh. And they laugh and laugh.
he's making the best.
Psych, a good
Yeah,
2000
he's
joke?
he's making the best of it. You're right.
Making
It's
the
a
best
good
of
point.
it.
It's a good way to reframe that.
I mean, yeah. So I got 0. I'm just gonna say I'm not even gonna reread them because I did so bad. 0.
Yikes. I said Little Sister Disappears. She was there, unfortunately. They were not.
The actress that played the first one disappeared.
No more.
Yeah, she's dead.
No points. Well, we don't know if she's dead.
They were not graduating high school, so this show is not like a yearly
But that was
situation.
a flashback. One of them.
Feeney did not seem to be married. He was totally without love this whole show. Cory and Topanga engaged?
They were not engaged.
They were already hitched.
They were married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We saw a flashback of that. Well, dicks.
Dicks
Well,
are worth 0 points.
I got an unknown character from the pilot will fall in love with Cory. I was wrong. The redhead fell in love with Jack. The big one of Eric coming out as gay. Technically, I don't know. He didn't have a girlfriend in that show.
He did try to like get in when the tall redheaded girl asked for help in the tub. He did try to rush to the tub.
He did.
That
but
would point to him being a.
He also
straight man.
lingered. He also lingered on that final hug from Mr. Feeney, though. Kind of was a little longer hug than
When mom told Cory not to get Topanga pregnant right away, Eric said, "I won't."
That's true. You're right.
I think he's hiding it.
And then I had Mr. Feeney will still be their teacher, and he teaches them in life. So.
Oh man.
I am 3 for 3.
I think you scored the most points in first and last history with 1,000.
With one solid point.
Congratulations. Well, hey, it's kind of a weird. This is kind of a weird question because we ask it normally when I remember.
Love it.
And it's are you gonna be watching this show? You thinking about watching this show, Jeff?
I will say, one, I feel I've come off very negative I know I was pretty negative with Step by Step, and I think with that one I was like, no, I'm definitely not watching, which took me why it took me so long to get back here.
Right.
Looking at the pilot and looking at the finale, I would be like, I don't know, but watching all those clips, yeah, I think this is a show I could easily go back.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Being like a 20-minute episode, I could power through pretty quick. And there were some jokes in there that I actually laughed at genuinely during this. So, yeah, I think I'd watch it.
It's one of those shows where if we were judging it based only on its pilot and its finale, it would be like, I want the show to burn in hell. Because it's not a good show. But it's a funny show, and those clips are funny. And the first episode was funny, it just wasn't a good pilot.
Maybe when they designed the finale, they're like, you know what? In a couple years, maybe someone will only watch the finale. And so we got to sell our show to those people.
Well, I guess they did it in a weird way.
Also, yeah.
That just made me think, like,
Huh.
So I don't think I've ever seen that I can think of like a rerun. So I'm thinking of like someone stumbles upon this show and happens upon the finale of the rerun.
Because
You
it's
don't really
horrible.
see
You're
don't
right.
really see the finale
Yeah.
on the reruns. Right?
I mean, if you watch enough of the reruns, you watch the finale.
Eventually you'll see it.
I mean, if
But
you-
what do they do?
Because
They
the
just
finale
put-
is all reruns. So if
I
you
mean,
watch enough reruns,
That's a
you
good
see
point.
the
Oh, that. Oh,
I
right,
mean,
right. Okay.
I mean, I'm saying at any given time, if you've never seen Boy Meets World ever, and you, for some god awful reason, have just TV, which is weird already to me.
you just have to plug your
I don't.
turn your TV on.
I don't have TV.
You just have to have an antenna.
I don't have one of those. I literally can't have
I'm
TV.
gonna get
right
you
now.
one.
I don't want one.
I'm gonna get you one.
I don't want TV.
Thank you for the
But if you're flipping through your TV guide and you find out that on UPN at like 7 p.m. on a Thursday,
Probably on UPN. That's a good call. I
There's
appreciate
gonna
that.
be an episode of Boy Meets World, and you turn it on, you got a 1 in 158 chance that it's gonna be the finale. So in
true.
general, you're probably not gonna see the finale.
Well, and what's great
do you-
too is our biggest problem with the pilot is it was too much of a regular episode. But if you randomly turn the channel and see the pilot, you're not going to think that's the pilot.
I would
You're gonna
never.
be like,
Yeah.
that was a pretty good episode.
Yeah.
I'll maybe watch
That's
the
a fun
next 3
episode of that
hours when
show.
it plays.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
Never
watch that.
knowing it's the
I'll watch
pilot.
the Boy Meets World marathon on TBS.
I wonder when this boy's going to meet the world. I will keep watching.
Wonder what Mr. World thinks and
Yeah.
would teach this man.
When's the cool hip teacher, Mr. World, coming?
I hope there's a subplot at some point that it's like Mr. Feeney's like a god,
Just
and he's like,
whole twist.
and we do find out like he is the world.
Yeah, and then you see this episode was produced by J.J. Abrams.
I am Feeney.
So I'm just looking up right now and making sure Girl Meets World isn't still a show.
I think it got canceled
But
because she didn't meet enough of the world.
Ryder Strong, who is Sean Hunter,
Jonathan
Hunter, basically his other big thing was just being in this show.
Cabin in the Woods.
Nuh-uh.
Look it up. Cabin in the Woods?
Nuh-uh.
I'm telling you, he's in.
He was not in Cabin in the Woods.
Well, I was
Joss
right.
Whedon?
I was right with.
He wasn't in that movie. But
He's in
what's-
some
it's-
shitty...
Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever.
He's
There it
probably-
is.
he's probably in
that's
that one.
that's what you're. Yeah.
Because I called that Eric and Jack were both in a Disney Channel original movie called H.E. Double Hockey Sticks, which is great.
It's just ridiculous.
he was
I have
Paul
not seen
in
that.
Cabin Fever.
Paul?
Paul.
I have not seen that.
Just
Pretty
Well,
sure.
It's almost Halloween. You should. I bet.
Yeah.
Well, anyone listening, it's probably after Halloween. So
Oh yeah.
next Halloween, go watch Cabin Fever.
Just don't.
No, do it.
There's 3 seasons of Girl Meets World.
That was like a Netflix. Wasn't it just a Netflix? Or was it on actual like?
Looks like it was Disney Channel.
Oh well, I can't
That makes
get 'em-
sense.
I can't get them all.
So
Can't.
Get nothing.
sometimes we get it. Sometimes we get them right, and sometimes we just wrong, like Jeff. Hey everybody,
This is my nightmare.
thank you for hanging out with us this week and
You
meeting
got
the
0
world
points, so
with
you
the
can't
boy.
come back.
Jimmy, I am doing the outro right now.
Yeah, do it. I'm
Yeah,
just. I
do it.
just.
No one's
I'll just.
stopping you.
I'll just. Let me. Jeff, you're not welcome back here. Jeff.
Yeah, you're on
Jeff,
mute. Don't worry about it.
Jeff,
They can still. We're in the same room. They can hear. The microphones
yeah.
can hear.
you're not welcome.
Well, hey Jeff, thanks for. When Jimmy's gone, you can show up. Since Jimmy won't invite you back, I will. Thanks for.
If you need someone to stay silent for about 20 minutes to calculate the age that I am, I will come back and fill in for that.
Jimmy's here weekly. We don't need someone to fill in for that. He'll figure it out. Do you know how old you are yet, Jimmy? By the way, you never answered
I think
that.
I'm 33.
Okay, good job.
He's been dead for
Listeners.
50 years.
Wow.
Spooky.
Oh, I've been dead. Cool. Well, hey, thanks
It's
for
a good
listening.
outro, guys.
Damn it.
Yeah, way to cut it off, Josh.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Jeff, thank you for visiting. I believe next week, potentially, we'll be running OG Strong. Me, Joe, and Jimmy. Jeff will be dead, buried, and the
Food coma from the chicken. Or
From the chicken.
from the...
from the chicken.
The
I was
burrito.
gonna say from the candy. But, again,
Really?
people listening probably...
Do you give out chicken to kids at your doorstep?
It's a good place to end the
All
podcast.
right. All right, the music's playing. I'm saying goodbye.
Hey,
Well,
goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone.